the power to create is innate.
Mm.
Oh,
All
it's
right. All
innate.
right.
Meaning
Oh,
we all have it. We
and
all have it. We were born with it. The
yes,
power to
yes.
create is innate. Like we get to choose. We got the power of speech. You got the power of right. We have the power to decide what choices we make in life. And so now we're
It's,
saying choose your thoughts. Yes, ma'am. Is that
just add to that,
yes, ma'am.
as Dr. Tart was speaking, some things just came to mind. One of the things that we are forced to do during this quarantine is to think and
Mm.
creative and to be innovative. Right
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
now, businesses are in a position where they're going to have to be innovative, especially in the retail industries. They're
Mm-hmm.
going to have to figure out ways to stay in business. It's forcing a hand of if I don't do this, I will not survive.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
this is about the survival of the fittest. If you are not in a position where you are can say, listen, I got to do this, or that's it for me.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we are. Businesses and people are in divine position to create and manifest things in their lives that they probably would not have thought about had this not happened.
Absolutely.
right, because we're asking people to be comfortable being uncomfortable. This is
Yeah.
like the new
Yeah.
normal. And we talk
Yes.
about that all the time. Be comfortable being uncomfortable. So basically, at the end of the day, you get a chance to reset, to redesign who you are and what you're doing. Dr.
Mhm.
Tart, you started out by talking about us choosing things,
Yes.
choosing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Choosing what we want to do, choosing who we are.
Yes.
This is a chance to
Yes.
Amelia's point, choosing who we are and what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. I think that that is so on point because how many times have we said, I am so busy. Man, I wish I could take a vacation. I need a vacation from my vacation. Man, I'm working. I mean, I'm working like a one-arm clothes hanger or whatever. If ever there was a time to reset, this is the time. But sometimes when we get what we've been asking for, then we decide that we don't want
Mm,
we wanted it to be different, you know? Yeah, God, I asked you for that, but I really wanted to help you out because I wanted it to be green. I wanted it to be purple or whatever. But the
right.
reality here is, are we willing to just woosah, take a woosah moment and revisit where we're going and what's happening? If you're in this situation, like, is this thought that you have, the things that you're focusing on or thinking about, are they noble? Are they reputable? Or is it that you're constantly trying to undercut? You know, sometimes I seriously think that these circumstances will help us to revisit and talk about our moral character. You know, if we could just kind of turn it there to the point that you just made, Amelia, as it relates to how businesses have been so creative. I mean, they really have been. They have, you see people doing altruistic deeds all over. Give God the praise, really. That's fantastic. This pandemic, this word, the way that we were using it and throwing it around, yeah, we've probably used it more now than we've ever used it before. But the point that I'm trying to make is that when there have been other crises, even in the United States, and whether other countries have had crises or not, there's been a step up to being more, what is the word I'm looking, altruistic. I can't think of another one since I just
Right.
said that one. But the point that I'm trying to make is the tools are there. The tools are there. We have the tools. Can we sit down? Can we rest a minute? Give ourselves permission to believe that it can be different. How often, think about it, how often do we say, yeah, but? How
Mhm.
often do we say, I can't? How often do we say, but she has or he has and I don't? How often do we say that? Louise Hay in her book says, loving the book called Love Yourself, Heal Your Life. She says 80% of the messages that we send ourselves are negative messages. Now, I can't
Mm,
prove her statistics, but I'm going to run with that, okay? Because she said, all right, so in running with that, if we recognize that we find ourselves constantly thinking about the negative things, and so often when we do, we find ourselves in some miserable point or whatever. What if, just what if we turn that around and say, I want, if something has to be negative, it's 20% of my day rather than 80% of my day.